everybody, I'm Steph.
I'm Michael.
And I'm Dan.
Today we're showing you Almost Innocent.
Published by Colossal Games and provided to us by Matago. So thanks, Matago, for providing us this game, this co-op game that plays 2 to 5 players in approximately 30 minutes. So thanks for that. But Matago did not give it to us in exchange for this video. They gave it to us because they know we like to play all the games.
Yeah, and spoiler alert, I super love this game.
It's really super fun.
If you are a deduction fan, let me tell you right now, you just go buy it. It's a lot of fun.
Agreed. Now, if you're looking for Michael to be the hidden traitor, that's not going to happen this game.
True.
Because despite the name Almost Innocent, there is no hidden traitor.
True.
So, if that sort of stuff makes you anxious or anything, you don't have to worry about that at all. This is a pure deduction game where your solution is known by the player on your right. So Dan will know my solution, and so I'm going to ask Dan questions. And Steph knows Dan's solution, so she's going to ask him questions. And I know Steph's solution, so she's going to ask me questions. Here's the catch. All of us are going to answer the question posed by each person. So if Steph asks Dan a question, Dan will respond, and I will respond to Steph, and Dan will respond to me.
Yeah, so...
Yes.
You work together to solve everybody's...
Yeah, we're all going to answer. We're all going to answer each... I don't know if I said all that, but I think I messed it up. But
we'll go over it.
Whoever has the information will answer the same question. So let's go ahead and take a look at this game, and I will tell you all the rules.
With Michael.
So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to choose a scenario. We are going to start off with Act 1, down here on the left, Scene 3, or, I guess it would be Scene 3, Act 1, Scene 3. This game, not only does it come with a rule book, it comes with a scenario and storybook, which basically tells the story of what's going on. There are no real spoilers because the story that we are telling in this is backstory only. The story you are about to hear for Act 3 is not going to spoiler you for Act 1, Scene 1 or Act 1, Scene 2 at all. All it is backstory. Also, for those of you who like deduction games but don't like games that are not replayable, never fear. This game is different every single time.
And you can replay Act 1, Scene 1.
Absolutely. And we could have done that with Dan, but we have faith in Dan. We believe that he can just jump right in. So, what you're going to do is you're going to open up this book and find out which type of cards we're going to need for this adventure. It says play scenario board 3. Choose your level of difficulty, easy, standard, or master. And then you're going to deal a set of solution cards to each player. Some cards will not be used. For example, in this game, we need a victim, we need a scene, we need some evidence, and we need a crime. Mm-hmm. And these cards are super cute. For example, the victim might be an observant rabbit, and it's really funny. It says a resolute guard. And when you place that with a scene, like a tavern, it's in a renowned tavern. And with the potion, it's with a nutty potion. And then here's the crime, bribery, financially tempted. So that's sort of cute how I am trying to figure this out from Dan. Dan knows what my solution is. And so I'm going to try to get him to give me information that will let me deduce my answer. So let me shuffle these back in. I will give these to Steph so that she can be shuffling these up. If we were to choose certain difficulty levels, we are going to get a number of investigation markers based on our difficulty level and innocence tokens based on our difficulty level. We are going to go with standard, where we're going to get 6 of these investigation markers with a number sign and 3 of them with a color sign. So, what the first thing you're going to want to do is to mark your reference sheets. You guys might not be able to see, but each of us has a shield with all of the information in it. Remember, I said that we will not be using all the cards? Well, we don't have any of the special cards. We don't have any of the offender cards. When we start including those, that is going to increase the level of difficulty for finding out everything, because once we start adding the offender cards, hey, that's a fifth piece of information we're going to have to know. And there are also going to be lots of other things. There is a queen figure and a queen die. It's this nice little wooden die that they give. There are player powers, such as this investigator player power. We don't have either of those at the moment. So the game is rather basic at this level, but still fairly challenging. So, the first thing you're going to do is to mark off on your board all of the places where there cannot be any clues for our stuff. You'll notice that Steph has all of hers marked as well. She's even got the bunny in the middle marked because this scenario is indeed called an angry bunny guard, and the angry bunny guard is right here in the middle. So,
well, it's because it's one space.
it is one. It is indeed one full space, and I'll get to some of those in the rules in just a moment. So, you will also want to mark the solution card that you've received from Steph's shuffled up stuff. Steph is giving us one of each of the cards in each of those four colors. That would have been tragic if I had revealed it. And I need to mark this on my sheet because if I have this crime and this evidence and this scene and this victim, those are not my answers.
Right.
That's really helpful to know. So,
also probably helps in answering me when I ask you.
Absolutely.
Steph, whoever's answering.
Yes. Plus, in addition, once I have a really good idea of mine and I know Steph is struggling, then I'm going to want to ask a question that is going to give Steph some information. Or, I'm asking you the question, but it might give Steph some information because she has to ask me the same question I'm asking Dan.
Yeah.
So, tips about table talk. This is the legitimate level of table talk that you can have, and it's based on your difficulty level. With easy, you can say to the other players what type or color clues you are confused about and which you have already solved. So if we're playing easy and I'm not sure who my victim is, I might say, hey, I'm not real certain about the blues on this one.
Mm-hmm.
So that would give them some information. But we're not playing easy, we're playing standard. The level of table talk we can do is we may only indicate if we've completed our solution yet and are ready for the game to end or not. You could say, no, I'm not ready, or I'm still searching for stuff. Mm-hmm. With Master, you can't talk about your progress at all. So that's interesting. So on your turn, the active player who has the little active player. Oh, I should mention, we have the upgraded wooden bit player tokens. The game does come with plain old cardboard tokens. However, there are nicer wooden bits that can be, I guess you can purchase them as an add-on, Steph? Is that?
I'm not actually sure. I think it was a Kickstarter at one point, and so maybe
included in the box. I can't remember if it was included.
It was a Kickstarter edition.
So, on my turn, I will put the investigation token next to a corresponding row or column and either ask a number clue or a color clue. I might say, how many clues relate to my case in this row or in this column? And then everyone will answer the person to their left.
Oh, you made the board out of focus somehow by moving.
Uh-oh. Boop. Hopefully that will focus. That looks like it's focused up. So.
Maybe not. Here, you keep talking. I'll try and.
Here, let me make it super.
Yeah, I think it did it. That's all the rules. No,
That's
I'm just kidding. I don't think that helped.
well, we could go to the main screen and then back to this screen, and that should do it. So that takes one of these number clues out, the number clues that look like this. If you want to ask a color clue, which is on the back side of this, then you can say, is my victim or offender or evidence or scene or crime, is my red in this column? It's not focusing.
Okay, well,
Well, we could start it over. That's Zoom.
I know.
Oh, it might have fixed it. Anyway, you might say, is my green in this column? And if someone says no to me, but they say yes to Steph, then this is not my green. So that is probably pretty good. Alternatively, like I say, if you're going for number and you say that I've got 2 in this column, I know it's not both of these yellows, or if for some reason I already know what my red is and it's neither of these, and someone says 2, it's both of these, which would be really good. So, you're going to want to keep doing that and taking super good notes. Some people even take notes on other people's solutions.
Yeah.
You can also write in on the little magnifying glasses how many clues relate to you or somebody else if you want.
Every box I mark what everybody answers for everything. So I know who, if I can figure out Michael's, it makes it easier to figure out mine.
Absolutely. So, and you can't say, oh, that was good information. Don't say that because
too much information.
That's too much information at certain difficulty levels. So
yeah.
Once we've used up all of our investigation clues or tokens, we must attempt to solve our combination of clues. We can decide to solve sooner, but once we have committed, we must solve at the same time, and you have one attempt solving the game. So, first, we do all of the offender clues, then all the victims, all the crimes, all the evidence, and all the scenes. Now, if you'll notice on the inside of these player screens, offender is at the bottom, but the other ones are in order. You can do the offender first and then go from top to bottom on your screens. We're going to take clockwise turns to solve the combinations, announcing our suspected clue out loud, and the person to your right will say yes or no. If the answer is correct, then the next player to the left continues with their guess. If the answer is not correct, the players have to lose one almost innocent token. If we don't have any more almost innocent tokens, then that's not good because we will immediately lose. After you lose an almost innocent token, the incorrect player has to make another attempt, considering that additional information. So if you got a 50-50 shot, you still haven't lost the game. And information you find out during this phase might help you in figuring out what yours is based on what other people say. Now, we were playing a 4-player game, and instead, when we played, and instead of James being first every single time to sort of let Susan know what hers is, what we did was each of us took a turn being first, offender and then victim and then crime and then evidence and then scene. We each took a turn being first to sort of even it out and make it so that, there's not a lot less information for somebody every single time.
Yeah.
So there doesn't seem to be anything in the rules that says to rotate that roll around, but that's what we did to fix that. Once we have solved all of our rules correctly, hey, we've won the game. That's what we're looking to do.
Yep.
And we can progress to the next page of the scenario book. You can add 5 different modules to the game to expand your game experience. You can play scenarios with fewer clues or on master level difficulty. You can play with limited question types. There are also, in the copy that we got, there was a stretch goal that contained a campaign book, some ability cards, some queen ability tokens, and then some other stuff in here. So if this game is right up your alley, make sure to get one of these Kickstarter versions because that's really cool.
So cool.
Now, I will mention this before we begin. If we ask something about this column or this row with the big bunny in it, this triggers for both column C and column D, row 3 and row 4. So my clue might be in if mine is the bunny, it's going to trigger, if I say how many are in 3, it's going to be counted. If it's in 4, it will also be counted. Maybe this will be good information for somebody.
Yep.
Because if I know I've got 5, if it looks like I've got 5 clues around for my 4 things, maybe I've got that big bunny. So, Alexa, pick a random number from 1 to 3. It's 2. Dan is starting.
All right. We need our case.
Yeah, here. Okay, so
And let me read the scenario and story. Go ahead. What were you going to do?
I'm looking at my cards and I'm writing Michael in all my cards. Right?
Yes, and I'm going to
have Michael's.
I have Steph's cards.
It says I answer Michael's on the shield.
Yes.
Oh, okay, so I have Dan's cards.
You have my cards.
Whatever.
Yes, you have Dan's
I want
cards.
to make sure I understand.
I have your cards.
Okay.
Dan has my cards. I have your cards. You have Dan's cards. You'll also notice on the shield it says answer this player and ask this player. So everything is nicely on the shields. Anyway, with the help of your new mouse friend, you located the places where the missing persons were seen last. Apparently, a series of horrible crimes has happened. After a while, you discover a grumpy bunny guard sleeping in a dumpster. He was missing since last night. Unfortunately, he does not thank you at all for finding him, and also poorly remembers last night. As you try to bring together the fragments of the night, you notice one thing. The hangover carrot keeper thinks you committed all these crimes. Your mouse friend is amused while you try to convince the bunny of your innocence. Can you clean your reputation? So basically, you're finding out crimes and evidences and locations and scenes and victims so that it clears your name. I am going to mark these down I'm going to put a big S on these for Steph. No, that is not correct.
I also mixed in the 7th clue by mistake. So if
The 7th clue by mistake.
If you have the 7th clue and you don't see it on the board, then get a new one.
You mixed in that clue. Got you. No, that's good.
Mine seemed all be good.
Okay.
Is this one good? Yeah, that one is good. This is good. And that's good.
All right, so just to reiterate,
we all did well on that.
Let's say pick a number question.
Yes.
I pick a row or a column.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And everybody gets to hear the answer to that for their own individual thing.
That's correct.
We answered 3 times, yeah.
Okay, just
That's
just
that is-
confirming.
Yep.
That is a good ask.
So, like, if you know something really great about Michael, maybe you ask.
And that's this. Sorry, Dan. That's your question.
No.
Can I ask a question? Yes, that was your question. Yeah.
That's,
I'm on to you, sir.
I mean, can I ask a question? Yes, that's your second.
Yes. All right. Row 1.
Row 1.
Row 1.
So who asks first?
You just did.
Okay, row
So,
1.
Answer for you. There are no Dan clues in there.
Thanks.
There are no Steph clues in there.
Whoa. And then
There are 2 Michael clues in there. So there's a method to my madness.
sure.
2 Michael clues.
Correct.
I like that.
Interesting.
Isn't it?
Now,
Quite.
I'll talk to the chat to let them know a little bit of thought process, and it won't reveal anything to them. it's either going to be the blue or the yellow because it can't be both of these. It could be this
One
and the
of
blue,
those.
this or the yellow. It can be one of these.
Right.
Could be both of these and not this at all.
Right.
Of course.
But it can't be both the reds.
Right.
Yeah.
I thought that was a good piece of information.
It totally is. I love it.
He loves it.
I love it. So I'm going to ask about this row.
Rows
Column.
C.
This column C.
Column C.
Column C.
All right.
Oh, you want me to answer you?
I do.
0.
There are 0.
Oh, interesting. Well, that narrows Michael down.
It does. I dare say it
It
does.
totally narrows me down. And because 2 of mine, and it's not both of the reds, so I figured I would know something about this.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Dan answered me, you answering Dan.
Oh, Dan
Right.
1.
Okay.
Dan has 1.
Very good.
Steph, you have 2.
Really?
Yes.
There are 6 cards in that column.
Now there are a lot I can mark off with what I have figured out, by the way.
Sure.
You dare say.
You said 2?
I said 2.
That's what he said.
All right.
You have 2 things.
That's what the man said. He said that.
Won't you listen to what the man said?
There are, of course, only 2 types of clues in them. Therefore,
There,
you've got one of each.
there was a really good method to this madness as well.
Wow.
Maybe we're not supposed to be talking this much, but whatever.
It's
Streaming, so I'm
Yes.
not
So-
as worried about it.
Yeah, so that seems like good information.
So I had nothing in there. I had nothing in
Not
there.
a sausage.
Oh,
Not a sausage.
I like that one. I will ask about. Are you ready over there?
Ready over here? Yeah, I need to take this away.
Okay, I'm going to ask about row 3 for number.
Yeah, so how many of your clues are in 3?
Yeah?
There's 1.
Okay. And Dan, you have 2?
Fascinating. Michael has 0.
How about that?
2, you said.
The heck you say?
You said I had 1, right?
He said something of the sort.
Oh, I. Okay,
We're
great.
down to these 6 clues.
Yeah, and it's possible to figure this out with this information, with those remaining pieces of information.
We would hope so.
I don't see how we wouldn't.
Okay, just checking.
We got this. We got Dan on the team.
Right, I am trying to figure out a good follow-up question here. I had the initial one was obvious. I now need to figure out what I'm doing, so bear with me.
Hey, red guy, blue guy, how's it going?
Hey, red guy. We're red girl, blue guy. I guess tonight we're red girl, blue guy, yellow guy.
That's right.
Yeah,
Something like
something like that.
that.
Ah.
All right, well, that's potentially interesting.
Yeah,
Some stuff,
this is like crazy.
they're crazy.
All right, let's have a look at
Let
row
us.
6.
Row 6
Row 6.
seems great.
For number?
Yes.
Okay, I will say
You'll
1.
You'll ask.
1. Thank you.
Michael, what do you say?
1.
Okay.
Michael also has 1.
Oh.
How about that?
Cool. I do have 1. You say.
The heck you say?
Oh, interesting.
looks great.
Okay.
That is this gone.
Not quite. You said 1 for me, right?
I did.
Okay. Cool.
And then
Right, that's okay. Yeah.
looking to see what got already said and what has not been said yet. We've not done this one, have we?
No.
No.
All right. How many for me in column E?
0.
0.
Dan, you have 1.
Of course.
You have 1, Steph.
Oh, really?
Yep.
I think he means it.
Well,
Processing.
I
Processing.
figured mine out. So just so everybody knows.
So you can say I am ready for the solution.
Yeah. All right. Wait. Sorry.
That's
I'm not
good.
saying we're done.
Right.
No.
I will say I am not ready for
I
the
would. I'm
solution.
not. I would just like to think for a second if that's okay.
Sure.
Which is fine. Both answers are correct.
Yeah. All right. So just confirming. All right. So I know that and that.
So red guy, blue guy, I believe we're using a Logitech Brio for this overhead cam right here. We have a smaller Logitech 920 for this overhead camera so that we can show all sorts of cool things on the overhead. On the what we call our green screen overhead. And our front is also it is the same, isn't it? A Brio, isn't it, Steph?
Yep.
That's interesting. Okay.
Thank you, red guy. Hopefully it looks good.
So I dare to make a second order deduction. I think I might want to deduce something on the basis that Steph already has figured hers out. That leads me to believe certain information about this grid, which I may be jumping to conclusions here.
We still have 4 more
You
clues.
still have 4 more clues.
I know, but I just want to tentatively figure out on the basis of that what if that's a valid solution. So let me just think about that for a second. Like, given if I make certain assumptions about what Steph knows about what I have, then she could easily conclude. I can see how she easily have solved it by now, given that. So let me just see if I can assume that and see where it takes me.
Correct.
Right? Because if
I see
if
that.
I have a certain thing, then she knows that she has a
Yes.
certain other thing, and therefore these other things are probably locked in.
Correct.
All right. So given that, logically,
Logically.
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 Yeah, red guy. We are streaming at I believe at 1080p. I believe the camera itself might actually be a 4K camera. We're just not streaming at 4K because Twitch sometimes has issues pushing that much bandwidth to Twitch at a time. So it's great that this is picking up all these cool details. We later pushed all of our videos to YouTube. So if you want to see any more board game videos, be sure to check out Steph Hodge on YouTube.
Yeah. Yeah, we rated into red guy, blue guy the other day.
Oh,
I think I was doing SN videos or something like that. They were playing a board game, but they don't play. They do it. They're variety streamers, but
very cool.
they like to throw pies in their face.
I've done that before. When I was a Cub Master, we would give the top popcorn seller the ability to throw a pie into the Cub Master's face, which that was me.
See, I have all these like cool emotes. They do Nickelodeon and slime and stuff.
That's awesome.
So I have all these like cool emotes. I was gifted a cool sub.
Oh wow. Well, be sure to follow Red Guy, Blue Guy if you are not already following.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
I don't know if I can do.
Given that, right? That's yes. Okay.
It would be your turn, right, Steph?
I think you just asked about this. So yes.
What?
I think you just asked that clue. So I think it. No, I think it's. I don't know.
I'm not sure what just got.
Dan.
I'm not sure what just got asked.
Oh, you did the 3 column. No, the E column. Sorry.
I did this.
So it is me whenever Dan says he's ready.
It
for
is.
me.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
All right, I'm gonna do
Just
4.
making sure because we do have a limited number.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
So you are well primed to give someone information.
I'll do 4.
Okay.
And I will say Dan 2.
Oh, you said Dan 2.
Okay.
I say Steph 1.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Michael 1.
That was a perfect one.
How about that?
All right. So yeah, we've covered. There's only 4 cards here, so we've covered all of those. All right. Let me think. Sorry. Now I really do have to think about this.
Oh no, you're fine. The only ones left are color clues saying is my victim crime evidence or scene in this.
So let me just try. I don't want to try some hypotheses and see if I can push it to a contradiction one way or the other. So.
I am not ready. But yes, you can
I'm
be
not
ready.
I'm not ready yet. I might be in a minute, but not likely.
Right. I'm just saying I am not ready for the solution yet because reasons.
Because reasons.
Yeah, okay. That's cool.
Deep in thought. He's lining up his putt. The wind is blowing from the west.
I find this game easier if I had a sheet that I've written down all of that in the grid because I can't follow this at all. I'm afraid I can't see.
Oh, the yellow and blue and stuff.
I've written down like initials for everything in the grid because otherwise I can't match it well enough from here. I can't see the pictures well enough. So before we start,
I don't even look at the pictures.
Well, I can't see anything else.
I just write colors, and then eventually I'll look at colors.
Yeah, you can always drag this board close if you need to see it because there's nothing.
I reproduced it here. It's just a little hard to follow in this format. It'd be nice if I understand why they don't. It'd be nice if they had sheets you could put under like a dry erase or something that had the pictures on them for each area.
Yeah,
I would just find it easier to use.
Got it. But then they'd have to multiply it by.
I understand why they didn't do it. It just I am struggling with it a little bit.
Got it.
I do with more people. I do wish the board was bigger, and I guess you could always just use paper and grid it or whatever. Just because I had a lot of information, like Susan had 1, James had 1 in this column, Michael had 1 in this column. So now I'm like trying to keep track of all of these people in this column.
Right.
With 3, it's a lot more easier. I mean.
Yeah.
Thanks for stopping by.
Thanks, Red Guy, Blue Guy. Well, Maz, we did play Rich and the Good. It is super good.
It's great. I really love the Rich and the Good, yeah.
And it will not be in our top 10 because we've played it before under the original name Hab und Gut.
Yeah, we played it right after COVID when we went to visit friends. For like the first time.
Yeah, in Oklahoma.
BGG-Con was canceled, so we're like, what should we do? Let's go visit John.
Let's go visit John.
Yeah. Yeah, it should be there probably tomorrow. I'll get it up. It's great.
It's great.
Or you can always watch the VOD after the fact as well.
We do have 3 more that we can use, and it doesn't hurt to use them.
And you ask about one specific thing. You pick which thing you're asking about.
A color.
Yeah, you'll ask a color, not how many. You'll say, is my green or blue or yellow in this row or column?
Mm-hmm. I gotcha. Just give me a sec here. This is. You see, I can easily correlate all this. All right, so right, given that, right, yes. Given that, then yeah, definitely that. That's obvious, sure.
Yeah, because you don't even really need to know the characters or anything.
Yeah,
You just
you don't need.
color,
Yeah.
brown or red, yellow, green, and blue would be helpful. But yeah.
I don't think I can make a firm conclusion yet. I have some significant ideas.
Okay. Ask something specifics about color.
Yes, I understand. I hear what you're saying.
Yeah.
All right. I think I know that, possibly. I think I know that.
In the first scenario, you get to choose which side you want.
Yeah.
You can use any 10. That's
Right.
what it was.
Yeah.
In this one, you got specifics, so they
Yeah.
increase the difficulty as you learn.
All right. I would like to ask about row 4.
Row 4.
About green.
Row 4, green.
Green.
You have 1.
I can't have more than 1.
I'm just saying you do have 1.
No. It's a yes, no, but yes.
Yes.
Yes, there is a green for you in that row. Yeah.
Thank you. And there is a green for Michael.
I know.
I know. I also know.
Just in case you didn't know.
And you
obviously
you know
not me.
You know that you don't have it. It's in me. It is me.
Yep.
I'm asking this one.
Okay.
Which one? I'm sorry.
So did yeah, it was no for everybody on the yes for me, no for everybody else. I'm asking.
No, it was yes for me as well.
It was yes for Dan.
It was this was yes for Dan.
Yes.
Yeah, and yes for you.
And yes for me.
Yeah.
Yes.
So. And obviously no for Steph.
Yes. So I will ask this for green. Is my green in this?
No.
That's fantastic.
The answer for me is obviously yes.
Yes.
Right. All right.
I will.
Because of reasons. I'm ready whenever.
Yeah, I just don't know if Dan figured himself out yet. So I will.
Working.
Fortunately, you know his solution.
I know everybody. So let's see. What would be helpful? I'm gonna go with row B and ask about yellow and say yes for Dan.
No for you.
Only one yellow.
Yes, understood.
I don't know if that was the right thing to ask, but
all right. Well, it doesn't hurt. That is helpful. I can probably figure it all out now. Give me just 1 second.
okay.
So that I'm pretty well convinced of that. So therefore, that's not the case. Therefore, that's the case, and that's not. And yeah, no, that's fine. All right, I think I've got it.
All right, we're starting off with the victim.
Okay.
Dan, you're first, and then we'll go around, and then I'll start. And
yeah,
we'll go
fine.
around. So yeah.
Observant rabbit.
Yes, indeed.
You had the big bunny.
Big bunny.
Throw it out there.
Oh.
I mean, you do have the cards, right?
Yeah.
You did have the great big one.
Yeah, I figured.
I figured Steph shoveled him and hid one, so it was right there. My victim. I gotta find them now.
Yes.
My victim is the mindful mage.
Correct.
Was I the clumsy wizard?
How about the clumsy wizard? So a resolute guard, a widely cited conjurer, and a mage close to disaster.
All right, we're doing.
All right, the crimes. My crime.
Yes.
Was a high crime of blackmail.
Correct.
I was cursed.
Yes, it was a clumsy wizard with a curse, unfavorably blessed.
All right, mine was a scam.
You were scammed.
How about that scam?
Okay.
And then Steph is going to be first on the evidence.
It's funny because the other 2 games we played, I was also a spicy tea. That was what I was trying to find.
Oh, yeah? Were you
How about
spicy
today?
tea?
How about today?
You were also spicy tea yet
I
again
know, that's so weird.
with an almost legal drink.
Me,
Sure.
the watch.
Yes, indeed.
And
Yes.
that is the green. My green was that thing, which was the tome.
Correct.
Ta-da!
All right, back to me.
Back to you.
The scene was the windmill.
Indeed.
Yay! My scene was processing. What is that? That is the thing with the thing. That's a church.
Correct.
Ta-da!
I think I'm in the hut.
Jabba the Hutt right there. So, a resolute guard romantically misled with a relocated watch and a cooperative grinder. A
Wow.
widely cited conjurer inappropriately characterized with a misprinted almanac in a forgiving temple. And a mage close to disaster unfavorably blessed with an almost legal drink in a fireproof cabin.
Nice.
And we have won. Look, this stuff has her Dan Bunny right in the middle.
More like upside down. So I was doing upside
Yeah, because
down.
now that I highly recommend that if you're playing upside down, that you turn your mat upside down or
Sure.
sideways. So yeah,
Yeah, I had you all figured out like early.
early.
All right, that is Almost Innocent. I super love it. I think it's a really great deduction. So I think it's
Cute art.
really clever.
Yeah, for sure.
I like the different levels of difficulty. It's like we could easily play this again and get different cards, and it would be a different game.
Yeah,
like,
Yeah.
And it keeps getting harder and harder and harder.
Yeah.
So it'll keep increasing the challenge, and then once we're really good, we just crank it up the master level and do it all again.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, if you're playing a board game 10, 15, 20, 30 times, that's a success, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think so. And I just want to keep playing and just see what happens, how hard it
Exactly.
gets. I like trying to keep track of everybody's like information, and because if I figure out that's Michael's blue, that's great. Then that's not my blue.
Right. So I mean, and you can use so once you said that you knew what yours was so early, I figured, well, almost certainly I had that because that lets you know if that meant it was obviously very easy for you to lock in your information.
Yeah.
And it's harder
If
to
I make that assumption, that's like, oh yeah, that was very obviously aligned. So I just made that assumption early.
Well, somebody asked about row 3, and you got 2 answers, and then I'm like, well, I have to give him row 4 at 2 answers, so then he definitely knows.
Before I got the row 4 thing, it's like, oh, because before you gave me the row 4, that you said you knew your answer.
Yeah. Exactly.
All right. So the point is, the row 3, it's like, okay, if I have that, then because you have this column, your crime and your victim have to be in column 3 because there's only 2 types of things in there.
Right.
Therefore, if I have the rabbit, then knowing that you have 2 things in row 3 means you have to have the evidence because there's nothing else there except crimes and victims.
Right.
Right, and that's the only overlap with that column. So that's 3 out of 4 things that you potentially know already, and so I figured you might have figured out the 4th. So I just made that assumption that I had the rabbit.
But if you're on row 4, if you ask about is my blue on row 4, then for sure you're going to find out, or you're going to let somebody know.
Yeah.
Hey, your blue is row 4, and it can only be the rabbit. So if you're getting some conflicting clues, I mean that could have given, and we didn't ask that.
I thought about it,
but we could have.
He's got to know he's the funny.
Well, if he were having trouble, that is a real quick way to do it. And starting out, you get long ones. Oh, that's act 4. So you're going to get big ones and or long ones, and you sort of have to deal with how that works rather than having single grids of everything, which is what you start with. Mm-hmm. So yeah,
it's clever. You have to kind of deduct, and I like that.
Yeah, it's not easy to find different deduction games that isn't automatically been there, done that.
And played that.
Oh, is this like Clue? Not really, because yes, you do have, a victim and a weapon and a whatever and a location, but it's different for everybody, and you got to get them all. So it's different
I love
than
that
a
it's
lot of
co-op,
deduction
like,
games.
because if you have a lot of information that you want to provide, well, you can ask that question, which I think is nice.
I love that.
Yeah, it really helps, and so I love that it's co-op. That makes it, there's one other cooperative deduction game, Paint the Roses, that I love, but this is totally different. So
Yes.
there's room for both.
Yeah.
Well, there's always room for more games.
Well, sure.
No, they are very different.
So yeah, if you're into cooperative deduction games, 2 thumbs up.
That's only 5.
6 thumbs up. But yeah. So if you enjoy what you saw here tonight, yeah, you can join us on Twitch every Wednesday and Sunday at 5 p.m. Central on twitch.tv/boardgamerstuff, where we play 3 or more games.
Every single stream.
And yeah, it's awesome.
Yep. So come join us on Twitch where we play
all
the games.
And for those on Twitch, we will be right back.